If you tweet it, it is true.
If you tweet it, it's true. We've learned that today. But apparently it's been known since the Twitterverse started.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
hi,
everybody, to a very lackadaisical episode.
That's a good word.
Of PSA podcast, Philosophy, Science, and Counsel.
That's what they put in the dictionary now. Right next
Boring
to lackadaisical.
As AZZ.
As AF. It's just AF.
Yeah, AF.
We're talking about social media today.
We are going to talk about social media.
So AF is a big thing. And
this is the wonderful podcast we do where
and SMH and what are the other ones? LOL
and BRB and
TCP.
WID.
Oh wait, no, that's not.
No, that's not. That'll be a future episode talking about.
Right. Oh yeah, we gotta get Aaron on here. All right. Oh, he offered. He wanted.
Really?
Yeah.
To talk about drugs?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
No, he wanted to be on drugs while talking. But I mean, never.
No, that'll be just as interesting.
No, it's gonna be very fast.
That one's gonna have to be like a early afternoon, so he has time to calm down. But yes, we are in season 2, episode 2.
Season 2.
We are the number one podcast concerning science and alcohol and philosophy.
Yeah, in the triangle.
Yeah, in the triangle.
The whole triangle.
Yeah, the whole greater triangle area. Mm-hmm. Like I dare you to find a better one of these in Durham, Cary,
RTP.
Apex. Does that count? I don't know. But
yeah, cool. So speaking of this, you can tweet us or Twitter us at the Twitter hashtag PSA podcast.
Yes.
Any of your questions, and we're going to talk about social media and its influence on everybody.
Yes.
Where do you
think it starts? What do you think?
Facebook? The internet?
Where did the internet start?
The internet's not a real thing, Brent, so it doesn't start anywhere. It's just in space. Who did come up?
How much do you know about the internet?
Very little, apparently. I'm on it all the time. Plugged in.
Servers and
connected.
The internet is a thing.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a physical entity. Like
where's the home base for the internet? Brent, where is it?
If I wanted to visit the internet,
where do I go to visit the internet? Who is in charge of this internet?
Well, no, they were just saying like if you're gonna have a website, you have to host it off a server.
Who is the CEO of the internet?
That's a good question.
Yeah, right. Who's making money off this shit?
Who's making money off of the internet?
The internet. So the internet is basically this like invisible web that surrounds. It's just a casted net over the earth.
Yes.
It's just drift netting everybody on the planet.
Right.
Being dragged along by some god in the sky. We don't know.
Yeah.
But there is an internet that connects us all, like all over the world, and it's really scary because nobody even knows what it is, but it's there.
In the past,
that's how you're listening to this podcast, is by the internet. If you are listening to it.
That's true.
If you're not listening to it, then you're not using the internet to listen to this.
Then you're just not listening to it either.
Yeah, right.
But we're not talking to those people.
No, we're talking to the people that are listening.
That are listening.
Thank you.
Yes. As always.
But yes, so social media is specifically the part of the internet, the mythical thing that we all know and love. Social media is going to be the specific part of the internet that we are talking about.
We are going to discuss.
And how it is it is basically determining how life on Earth exists.
It really is. I think that's the strangest part to me is how much everything kind of matters because of maybe not matters, but just like is so influenced by.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because like have you met people that are like, well, I'm not on Facebook, and your first thought is like, fucking weirdo.
Yeah, no, I have a friend, Jo. She's awesome. She is not on Facebook, and it's so hard to communicate with her.
I know.
Even though I have her number and I have her Twitter and I have her Instagram, she's not on Facebook, and I feel like that's hurting me somehow.
It's like if other people don't have it, it hurts you.
Yeah. I'm like, how am I supposed to like I'll text her and be like, how are you? And we'll be like, "Hey, we're good." And I'll mention like a show that I did, and she'll be like, "Oh, that's really cool. I didn't know you were doing that." I was like, "Well, it was all over." Oh, that's why you're not on the the faces. So, yeah, it's really strange not have someone on Facebook, and I'm not on Snapchat, and that seems to be
that's
mind-boggling to a lot of people.
Probably best.
I don't really like Snapchat.
Yeah,
I don't use it even when I have it.
Can be invasive.
Yeah, I feel like last time I had Snapchat, it was basically my best friend Danielle just like sent me all these pictures of her face, and I love her face. Don't get me wrong, Dee. If you're watching this, I love your face to death. Really, I do. But I really do. I really need to see like 7 pictures of you making a different silly face, all for 10 seconds apiece, so I don't have to keep looking at those notifications. Like seriously, I love you, but I can see your face if I just go visit, and I know the faces you're gonna make because I've been friends with you for the past 20 years. All right, so yeah, I don't really like Snapchat. That's the end of that story. But the Twitterverse and Instagram and Facebook is kind of where it's at.
Yeah, that's like the holy trinity of social media.
And I think that it's kind of Facebook is God.
Yeah.
And Twitter is Jesus, and the Holy Ghost, I guess, is Instagram.
Yeah.
And that's how that religion works.
But in a weird way, they can't, and in the same way of the Trinity, they can't exist without each other.
Or is Facebook the Bible because it's a book?
Maybe it is.
You know what I mean?
I don't hate that comparison. That was actually pretty solid.
Yeah, thanks. But yeah, it's...
Well, no, I think Facebook... No, I think it's backwards, because I think Facebook would be God, and MySpace would be Jesus.
MySpace was before Facebook.
Right, but Facebook killed MySpace, if we're talking religions.
Oh.
See what I did there?
Oh, as in, like, God killing Jesus, even though God existed before Jesus.
Yeah. Well, they all existed together. Why do we cannot do one of these podcasts without somehow referencing...
Look, social media is a fucking religion. We can all...
Absolutely.
I am devout. I am a follower of social media. I feel like naked, without it, and that's my fault, because it really shouldn't be that way. You should be able to go around your daily lives without checking your Facebook every 10 seconds. But I have to know what's going on without me.
Especially recently, where they started just placing the same updates at the top. Have you seen that how many years? Like, I pull it up on my phone, and I will see the same kind of 4, like the top 4 things that pop up.
Things?
Yeah, but it's just like my friends' pictures.
I don't know. I think, part of it is like, if you
it's all algorithms.
visit one person's page, like they read your mind. You know?
Yeah.
So if you're visiting one person's page a lot, then they tend to put those first, I think.
Yeah, it's so gross.
Yeah, right? But is it helpful? Like, we're staying informed. A lot of people, I know I don't have cable, so knowing about the politics that are currently going on right now is going to be how I am informed on, what is happening to our poor country.
But do you think, I kind of almost wonder if that tends to go so far to the point of psychosis.
Oh yeah,
that it's not actually good.
There's I read somewhere that people actually are addicted, to the point of an addiction. They go through withdrawals and shit.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, dang, okay, well maybe put down the phone for a hot second. This is for people who people get obsessed with something like a video game or what have you, and you see that kind of psychosis. They feel they throw tantrums when they don't have access to their phone. You've seen mothers take away their phone from kids and they have a meltdown. I don't understand. I can understand, because I know that when I lose my phone, I feel like part of my body is missing. What happened to my hand? It's so pale. I don't know. most of us can laugh about it and be like, ha ha ha, you are having a meltdown because you don't have a piece of plastic. But you think about the times when you've lost your phone and you're like, oh shit, this is a real feeling.
Well, this is an interesting quote from computerworld.com, and it's actually quoting the New York Times that the network effect itself is the thing that's addicting. It's the idea that any network becomes more valuable as more people connect to that network. So like it says, the phone system is the best example because you have to have a phone because everybody else has a phone.
Right.
So that's kind of the weird way it permeates.
Humans are social animals, so we find value in social structure.
Right.
And it actually behooves us as social animals to be liked by other animals or other humans. And this is like our survival technique.
Right.
You know, a lot of solitary animals will, you know, if they're strong, then they're going to survive. If they're, you know, well camouflaged, they're going to survive. People are so social that if you are liked by other people, then you're going to survive. That's how you thrive.
Yes.
And so to be connected to as many people as possible.
Why did you use the word survive? Because like you don't have to be. I mean, you know, you could go off and live in the woods and not be connected to people.
You could, but you're not going to do very well. Like in today's society, people are so removed from nature that most people don't know how to make a fire.
True.
Most people don't know what poison ivy looks like. Seriously, think in your head what poison ivy looks like.
Leaves of 3, let it be.
There you go. But some plants are actually, they have leaves of 3, but they're not poison ivy. And there's I forget
Believe you?
what it was called.
Arguing.
But anyway, like I would say if I threw you out in the woods right now with nobody, it's just you, and maybe I helped you out and gave you a lighter, you know, could you survive on your own? Maybe you wouldn't do too hot.
It would take a minute to kind of.
It would be a little cold, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It'd be a little chilly. We don't have any fur, so so body heat is really important, and you see that in animals that are social. You'll see them cuddling together, like penguins. They huddle together. They need other penguins. So, it's that kind of thing. Like a lone ant is dead. There's no way a lone ant is gonna do diddly squat. So it needs other ants to help it out, and that's instinct. That's biology. We are so ingrained with this social structure that the more the better. It's a positive feedback loop for us. So the more we get, the more we want, and so the more likes you get on Facebook, basically the better fit you are for your environment.
Well, then is it
survival?
Well, I mean, does that and even further back to survival? Like if you want to talk about human instincts for a second, do you equate that to the idea that in prehistoric times, like it was cavemen, like if there was a guy who found himself separated from his tribe in the middle of nowhere, like not only did he probably know how to survive in the sense of, you said, like build a fire, blah, 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 but like there's so many other dangers that like we as modern humans don't deal with.
Yeah, I mean a
saber-toothed tiger or something.
A herd is better than a single animal. So like if you're thinking of like cougar versus wolf, right? A cougar's gonna win in a one-on-one fight with a wolf. Cougars have bigger teeth, they are more agile, they have bigger claws. They're gonna win, but a cougar is never gonna win against a wolf pack.
Right.
That's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
And 10 eyes are better than one. So if you're going out to search for something, you're gonna want multiple eyes so you can have a better chance of finding something that everybody can share.
So how do you think that translates to this idea of?
So that's just the biology of why people get addicted to social media and to their likes. They get addicted to likes.
Right.
And some people get depressed if they don't get enough likes. That's intense, right?
Yeah.
So there's like some sort of weird quota that we give ourselves based on the number of likes we had previously, and if we go if we have a billion likes and all of a sudden we only get 2 likes on something, we're just going to flip out because that means nobody likes us anymore. And that means we're going to die because we're all alone, right?
Yeah.
Dying alone is like up there in the, top things people are afraid of, right?
Right.
Being alone.
Yeah.
That's scary because we're social animals. So that's the biology of it. But if you go further into, social media and its effect on, like, we affect it, obviously, by buying into it. And it affects us on a biological level, but it also affects us on a social and political and whatever level, societal level, because society's affecting it, it's affecting us back. Who we surround ourselves with is going to affect who we vote for in our elections. It's going to affect where we live. It's going to affect how we live, and it actually affects the world too. So this is something that I thought was very interesting. I saw this article about endangered animals and the pet trade, right? And there's actually a huge problem that Facebook has created for illegal pet trade, which means it is affecting the world. Like, animals other than people are being affected by Facebook. It's not just people. It's crazy to me. But you actually, there was a series of videos, the cute animal videos that go around.
Yeah.
They have exotic animal videos that go around and get millions of views.
Like
and
one of the
millions of likes.
What is it? It wasn't a tiger. The cougar getting petted.
Oh, the jaguar.
Jaguar being petted and purring.
Right. So there was a viral video that went around of a jaguar, and a guy petting this jaguar's head through bars of a cage, and the jaguar was, quote, purring in the video. But having worked with big cats for over 10 years now, I can tell you pretty definitely that jaguars lack the ability to purr. Physically lack the ability to purr.
Right.
He was growling. That's growling. That's one of my friends on Facebook. She posted like, "Oh my gosh, like, listen to him purr," and I was like, that's not purring. And she goes, "Oh, I know, it sounds like a motorboat." And I was like, "No, like, legitimately, it's not purring. It's growling. That's what it's doing." And, like, you can read his body language. I can, because I've worked with cats.
Right.
But I mean, I can see where other people would be mistaken.
Yeah.
But this cat is hissing. It's growling. It turns over to, like, swipe at the guy. And they're like, "Oh my god, he loves it." But, like, this cat was being incredibly patient, very patient with this guy touching his head. And I try, every time I see this pop up again, I'm like, "Listen, you guys, wake up. He doesn't want to be petted on the head. You do not want to be petted on the head most of the time. Like, this is a wild animal." And everyone's like, "I want one. I want one." There was actually, the article that I read, though, was about slow loris. I don't know if you've ever heard of slow loris.
Yes.
Yeah, they're the little, oh my gosh, they're so cute. They're the little, like, hamsters with, like, long arms. Have you seen those?
Yeah.
Yeah, so slow loris are being devastated in the wild by the pet trade, just destroyed, because they don't breed well in captivity, so they basically have to go into the wild and grab a bunch of them and then ship them off to Mexico, where they can be transferred to Texas, where everyone can buy them in the United States.
Right.
And there's a lot of viral videos going around of these little slow lorises eating popcorn, or getting tickled, quote, getting tickled. And what people suddenly realized is all these tickle videos is a defense mechanism for lorises. So they're actually poisonous. Lorises are poisonous to people. They secrete an oil from their armpits, essentially, and when it mixes with their saliva, so they'll groom themselves under their armpits, and when it mixes with their saliva, it turns into a toxin. Like you can get very sick from a loris. And people are posting all these videos of these little lorises lifting up their arms to show their armpits, and then people tickling them. Unbeknownst to them, they're getting poisoned by lorises. That's what the lorises are trying to do. They're trying to poison you. If they're not having fun, they're trying to poison you. And so people will see these loris videos and say, "Oh my gosh, they're so cute. I want one so I can tickle it." And they're just pulling more and more lorises out of the wild. and the wild population is just murdered. Like it's almost, they're pretty endangered. Like you can't get them anymore, thankfully. The pet trade, but in Russia you might be able to get them. I don't know.
It's Russia.
It's
You get everything in Russia.
well,
You need dolphin.
I don't think that's
You
right.
want dolphin? I have it. Not here, but close by.
I don't know if that was a Russian accent, but it started as one and then
Pretty close.
pretty close.
See, pretty close.
But yes, and that's crazy to me. So like, the idea that social media is not only affecting our society, it's not only affecting humans. It is not just a place for humans to share ideas. And I do think it's a lot of times does a lot of good. You can post petitions and whatever for things that you believe in, but it can have an effect on the planet and not just people.
Well, yeah, okay. So that was an interesting point. I wanted to bring that up.
Yeah, sure.
As far as you say things like petitions or pray for Haiti or any kind of those more positive ideas that go around. Like, do you think why don't those seem to be as popular or effective as kind of the negatives? Like what? Like I guess it's almost in a way. Why does the mob mentality lynch onto negativity more than positivity?
I don't know if it does. Is there evidence of that?
Maybe. I haven't looked it up. I just feel like from my personal experience, you see something like that.
Well, I don't know if it's. I don't know what kind of friends you're hanging out with that seem very negative.
I don't know a lot of people.
I happen to see a lot of positive things, but at the same time, one thing in particular is finding a common enemy is a great way to get friends, right?
That's true.
So everybody latches on to a common enemy, be it abstract like global warming or what have you, or something concrete like Trump. Everybody hates Trump right now, right?
Everybody does.
And people latch on to that because they're like, oh, I hate Trump too. We have so much in common. Let's all be friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even for people that are generally, like not very good at making friends, they can hop on to this culture
right
by agreeing that Trump is not a great person. And the more people that latch on to that idea, the more negative your base is going to be. The more things that people have to complain about that agree that it's a bad thing will feed off of each other in that way. It's that same, it's a mob mentality, a positive feedback loop. Like that. It's going to snowball.
Well, I just read this really interesting part that said, you talk like on specifically on Facebook, you find that as far as the mob mentality, everybody can like the status, share the thing, make the profile picture your that different color or whatever.
Right.
But what some people argue is that YouTube is actually the worst because
for negative comments.
Well, that definitely, but
I would say Twitter's pretty bad for negative comments.
Yeah, Twitter's
very negative.
But in a sense of, like you said at the beginning, we're all social animals. We're looking for relationships in a sense, and what YouTubers have learned to do, like those very specific people, PewDiePie comes to mind. He's like the highest paid. He's a Swedish. Somebody's gonna tell me I'm wrong. Swedish video game player who broadcasts his games online, and he made $20 million off playing video games in 2014, I think this was 2 years ago. But it's they've created almost like a parasocial relationship with people where it's like a very one-way thing. Like it's a problem that entertainers run into.
You're talking at people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to sound like a conversation, but it's not. So they're the ones that, like, they've learned how to speak in a way that grabs and holds the attention of the viewer, and they've learned how to not only make their on-screen personalities addictive, but to also make you feel like you connect to these people in some way. Like,
Sure.
I feel like you're more apt to watch somebody on YouTube that you think we would be friends.
Yeah.
We would be friends if we ever met. They'd like me.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah, no, like Jenna Marbles.
Yeah.
And people that talk to the camera, that's a big one.
Yes.
Everybody loves to
Yes.
watch people talking to the camera. So that's when you get, YouTube personalities, essentially, at that point. Who was it? The guy, he's got his own TV show now. Something Ruins Everything.
Adam ruins everything?
Yeah, Adam Ruins Everything. He started out as a YouTube personality as well.
Yeah.
So it's... And Bo Burnham
Yes.
started on YouTube.
Yes.
So, yeah, YouTube can make people famous just from their ability to relate to
almost present a false
Sure.
sense of connection.
Sure, yeah.
Because I think, on Facebook, most of the time, depending who you are and what you do with Facebook, you might have 500 Facebook friends, but you've had some sort of real life interaction with them at some point. Generally speaking.
Sometimes.
Yeah, a lot of times maybe not. I know, for like you and I, people will friend us on Facebook who were audience members at a show. And so that's a little different, but that's just based on the general nature of what we do.
Right.
Whereas I think the normal everyday Facebook user has some sort of real connection with their friends.
Yeah.
So that's a little more. You're still trying to keep some kind of connection going with these people that you know. But then, that's the crazy part to me is people who find that connection in someone they've never met, and they've only interacted with them in a way of watching their a one-way mirror, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, I think that part is crazy.
Well,
Very
it's not exactly crazy.
Not
I mean,
crazy.
everybody. I mean, the reason an entertainer is an entertainer is because they make the audience feel some way.
Yeah.
Right. And or to relate to them in some way, or everyone can find a mutual hatred in this person, someone they love to hate.
Yes.
Right. There are a lot of personalities that you just love to hate, and it's entertaining
Yeah.
to watch, and because if you don't feel a connection with the person doing the entertaining, you feel connection with everybody else because everybody else is joining you in their hatred for whoever it is. Like Joffrey on Game of Thrones, everybody hates Joffrey, but we love to watch Joffrey.
Yes.
Because we love to watch him get slapped and get poop thrown on him because we all hate him so very, very much. And we know it's an actor. We know it's not the real person, but like that he is an entertainer. He has crafted that character to be so gloriously awful that he's famous for it, right? And Trump has done pretty much the same thing. I'm not gonna rag on Trump because it happens too much already.
Yeah. It's almost too easy at this point.
It's too easy now. But yeah, and people that you really like, even though maybe like someone that you're able to like because they connect to a certain part of you. So even like Louis Black is like nuts. Like he's probably not a person I would ever want to hang out with because he's crazy, but he connects to the part of you that's a little bit crazy. And
Yeah.
like he might be screaming at you, but he makes some good points, and you're like, all right, Louis Black. Like it's really fun to watch him because he's gonna say something ridiculous, and like it's those kind of things. Even if you don't feel like you could be friends with this person, you still feel connected to them and to the audience that's watching them.
Right.
It's more important even.
Right.
Is being connected to everyone else that is sharing in your perception of the person.
How big of a problem do you think social media, specifically Facebook, and I will even venture further now to say Instagram, just because it's completely picture based, so you can kind of edit it to be whatever you want it to be. What do you think about the idea that these websites or these apps are leading people to a much deeper place of like social anxiety, depression? Maybe not depression, but just a general sense of insecurity.
Oh, definitely. The number of selfies people take.
Yeah.
Like, I would say that, like, I don't like taking selfies. I don't like the way I look. Maybe that's part of me being insecure when everybody else is taking like really pretty pictures with flowers on their hair and whatever. I don't have Snapchat filters that make my face look all like blemish free and like godlike. I don't have that ability, and I don't even like. And even when I've used other people's filters, I'm like, I still look like shit. So people that have that kind of confidence, or even people that are compensating for a lack of confidence by posting tons of selfies just so they can get likes by people to validate their selfie. They're like, oh, I do look pretty. Like I need someone to tell me. I need someone to tell me I look pretty because I don't know if I am. And there's a fine line there. Like, I don't want to post anything because I don't like the way I look, and that's my insecurity. And other people are posting it overly because they don't know if they look good,
right? And
so they want someone to validate them.
Well, I for me at least, I think mine falls more under the Facebook idea that you go on there at the end of the day, or 4,700 times a day, as I tend to do,
right?
And you're viewing people's posts, and you forget that these people are only posting like the most positive parts, because and again on Facebook I think it's a two-way street. You post people who say like, hey, this happened in my life, like I need thoughts and prayers please, blah blah blah, and it's like they're still on a base level doing that to get recognition.
Sure, yeah.
And then on the flip side of that, people post like, look at where I'm on vacation, or hashtag blessed. We've done all this stuff.
It's most of it is for validation.
Yeah.
Anything that people post is for validation. Now, I know that it's funny, for a lot of my older family members, it's not for that.
Right.
They do it to connect with their family.
Yes.
So they're like, my mom will have like, on her wall, not like a mom, you could just text her, but like on her wall she'll have like conversations with me and with my sister and with like with other family members, and I'm like, okay, like that's fine, I know you're trying to connect, and that's perfect. Like it helps me out when you post that your schedule, right? So I'll post my events that I'm going to, or my mom will post events that she's going to, or she's doing a lot of theater right now, so she'll post events for her show. And like, that reminds me, that's the calendar that I'm going by. Right. And that's important. And a lot of people do that just to give people a calendar, or to, mark themselves safe in whatever situation it was. But
mark myself safe in West Virginia.
Nobody cares if I'm safe.
Yeah.
So
it's like 2.5 people.
I don't do that kind of stuff, because it's like, if the people that I want to know that I'm safe, I will text them and tell them I'm safe. But there is a certain level of pride, not in a bad way. People can be proud of their accomplishments, that's fine. And for a lot of people, it's to promote themselves, like in our business, in comedy, promoting yourself is huge, and people will post the most inane things just to get people to pay attention. Say, hey, we're still here. Post a picture with someone famous. Hey, look what I'm doing. Look, so put me on your show, right? Yeah. And that's fine. That's a business. That's business model. And then there are other people who just post it because they're totally, bored at home, and they're just like,
yeah,
I need to talk to somebody. So I'm gonna take a selfie of myself drinking this juice. Look how healthy I am. So yeah, it's a weird place where people will clap for you for being brave about your, depression, or will condemn you for, wearing that color lipstick. Like, it's ridiculous, the most inane things that you can find fault in on, or find praise in, on Facebook. And like, it's funny, like, a lot of times I'll go on Facebook and I'll have I have this witty quip that I'm gonna say, right? I'm like, oh my god, this is gonna be hilarious. And I'm about to post it, and I look on my news feed, and it's like, so and so just died, and I'm like, I can't post that now because my friend's grandmother just died, and I'm like, no, why did you post this? It just ruins my joke. I know, and I feel bad.
It was a joke about grandmother's dying.
It was a joke about grandma's dying. But that's just it. It's suddenly me. It's suddenly about me that I can't post this because someone's grandmother died. It's so selfish, and everything. Most of the things I find on Facebook are pretty selfish.
Very selfish.
Including myself. I'm not immune to it. But
I once got a Facebook invite to someone I knew in high school, her mom's funeral.
Yeah.
And I didn't say yes.
Yeah.
I said maybe.
Right.
Because I wanted to see who else was going to be there.
Yeah.
If that's not the definition of
right.
the worst of social media.
First of all, who sends an invitation invite
Thank you.
to a funeral?
First point.
Rude. What you do is you call people, or you can post a status or whatever.
Yeah.
But don't invite people.
Don't make an event out of it. Yeah.
Jeez.
Just say, hey, if you're interested, it'll be here and here.
Right.
Yeah, but don't be
that's just kind of sick. And
because then at the same time too.
But I'm sorry about your mom.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that.
That was bad. I don't even remember who it was at this point. I just remember it happening.
Oh no. Well, I hope they're not listening to this.
Because then at the same time, when you're looking at people to invite, you're judging those people.
Sure. Yeah, you're gonna click on who you think. Now, if it's 30 people that this person invited, then that's, I guess, tasteful enough. But if it's 1 million people, you're like, oh, come on! You're just begging for someone.
It'd be a weird high school reunion that nobody wants to be at.
I don't want to go to this. You got enough people already maybe going, so I don't want to go. Yeah, that's pretty bad.
So, closing argument.
Okay, closing.
Good or bad? So, do you think social media is, and I mean, I want, because I think it can be, I think it can, no, I think it can be black or white. I think it's.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Mm-hmm. I don't. Because there's so many opinions on either side of any argument.
But okay, so then let's ask your personal opinion. Do you think society, life, whatever you want to call it, would be better without the constant connection?
I think that certain things would be better. I think it's important for people to be connected to other ideas and to new ways of thinking, to progressive ways of thinking. I think it's very important. I think that the whole, civil rights movement that we're going through, quote, at the moment with women and minorities and things like that. I think that's really important. And I agree with the more progressive ideas and getting that out there. I think that there are times when it is bad, when the negative snowball effect starts.
Yeah.
And I think that people need to get outside more. That would be great. Go, breathe some oxygen that wasn't filtered through central air. But, just being able to spread ideas, I think it's very important, and it can do a lot of good. Spreading ideas that are ill-informed, which a lot of them are.
Yes. Very ill-informed.
Lacking any sort of research, ideas that are negative, ideas that are inhibiting progress, those that are spread and shared and liked, those are the ones that I feel can do a lot of damage.
Yes.
So it really has to be well thought out, educated ideas that are worth spreading. That should be on social media.
So TED Talks.
TED Talks.
Yeah.
Ideas for spreading.
Everybody just
TED
go
Talks.
watch TED
It's so good.
Yeah, I don't.
All right, black or white. What's
No, I mean, I've just been leaning towards negative a lot lately because it is.
You're just a negative person.
Yeah. I mean, no. I mean, I'll absolutely admit that I tend to be a negative person. I know from a personal point, I wonder if I would have less insecurity about a lot of things if I didn't have Facebook and use it as much as I do. And I mean, that's an easy fix. Just don't use it as much as you do. But come on, it's a drug.
Yeah, it's the drug.
Straight up. And yeah, like you said, I mean, I think it perpetuates. I wish you couldn't comment on people's statuses, because I think that's where a lot of the negative perpetuation comes from.
Well, you are friends with comics who like to stab you in the gut while you're trying to bare your soul.
No, I'm not even. I rarely kind of, I don't want to say not open up, but just like try to say something on Facebook.
Yeah.
Like I want, if I'm going to post on Facebook, it's going to be like, hey, I'm trying to make a joke.
I actually really like that you can comment on statuses, because that allows me to comment on these stupid Jaguar videos. Guys, seriously?
It's not
purring. You guys, this is important, because all these people are posting like, oh my gosh, I want one. Well, you know what? You can actually buy one, but don't fucking do it, because they will rip your face off, you idiots.
No, you just got to get them as kittens, and then you can raise them up.
Yeah, you love the evil out of them. That's how we domesticated dogs.
Yeah.
You guys.
Yeah.
Okay. But seriously, I think that's really important, that you can comment on someone's status, because if they post something that is flat out wrong and it's causing damage, go ahead and try to fix it if you can.
I wish. Okay, so let's say this. I wish that when you clicked post, another box popped up and said, "Do you want to allow comments?"
Okay,
because I feel like most people would probably say yes, but there's certain things where I'm just like, "Hey, just let it be. Don't try to make it better." Yeah.
Well, I mean, at that point, you might have blocked the people that are commenting on your.
Yeah, that's good. I should probably do that.
Yeah. But no. Like, I think there's something to be said for allowing, people to speak their mind, and if you have a problem with it, or if you feel like it is legitimately causing problems, I think you should probably speak up. But if you're just commenting for the sake of being a negative Nancy, maybe you should, rethink what you're about to say.
It's like, who's got that kind of time?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
To get in an argument on Facebook, I just don't
Well, people have so much time on their hands to get in arguments on Facebook. I have seen so many arguments on Facebook. But you don't let them get you down, little buddy. Oh, don't let them get you down.
I'll try. All right. Well, that will be. I think we'll wrap it up there. That was pretty good.
Yeah, that's good.
You got places to be.
I got stuff to do.
But thank you for joining us for season 2, episode 2.
Yeah, season 2, ep 2.
The PSA podcast. We're keeping this going. We've been doing it so long.
Oh my god, that's crazy. I don't even know how many views we have on anything.
I don't know either.
But it doesn't matter, because
I'm fixing it.
Fun.
Okay, well, I will say this. I worked on it today. I'm working on fixing, getting all of the original videos up onto the optional and YouTube.
Sweet.
So it should be a one-stop shop.
Sweet.
For anybody who wants to listen to this, like in the car.
Yes, and do follow us on Brent Blakeney and Brett Williams on Facebook, and Brettera, at Brettera on Instagram and Twitter.
And and I'm at 67comedy, all spelled out SIXESEVENCOMNDY.
Yeah.
On Instagram and Twitter, and I'm on Snapchat just because it's funny. I don't use it. I don't know.
You don't have to. You can like it if you want to.
I mean, that's the thing is like it's for every 100 things I get, I'm like, oh, one was interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe it's always worth that one.
Yeah. All right.
But thank you guys so much for joining us, and we will be back next week with a topic we haven't decided on yet. Yay! Roll of the dice.
Whee!
You guys, thank you very again for joining us.
Much
Have a great
love.
week.
Bye.
Love, love, love. Bye-bye.
Bye.